I have no problem. Everyone, welcome to my stream. If you're not already subscribed, click the subscribe button. Don't hit it. Brutality and technology do not mix. At least not since the 1970s. We ran into a word that I didn't know. We were already starting into chapter 2 here when I realized that the Restream kept dropping my stream again, and I'm not playing that anymore. So let's look up this word that I don't know. Like any good, well-educated human being, I own, or native English-speaking person, I should say, I own Webster's Encyclopedic Unabridged Dictionary of the English Language, both British and American. Hi. I don't know what you wrote, but I can't see it. This is chat rate 1, but I see nothing in the chat, and I apologize. I can say try again. So we will look up this word. This is the word that I did not know. Okay, we all have words we don't know. That's why I have my trusty dictionary at hand. And yes, I still have it, and I will always have it. I will never become dependent on the online junk. So S-E-G-U. S-E-G-U-E, there it is. It means to continue at once with the next section or composition. It is said, they have it here as Sejwa. Sejwa. Sounds very French, doesn't it? So let us Sejwa. Okay, best Sejwa into something else. Regardless of how well Silas has already paid, I have places to be. Fair enough. How's work coming along on the new prosthesis? Wonderfully. Couldn't be happier with it. I can't wait for the public to see it. This will revolutionize the way work is done in our fair city, and play for that matter. Would be launching ahead of schedule at this rate if only the blasted foreman could do his job. Trouble on the production line? Sometimes we only have one choice, by the way. And for those of you who are just joining me, this is Claire Reed. She's our character for Chapter 2. We played a Minotaur in Chapter 1. Here's the character sheet. We have these various attributes. Our decisions will yield something in these various colors. Okay, they have different names than this. We have these portions of ourselves that also talk with us. We have our temperament, which actually tells us how despondent or how hopeful we are. And that influences the choices that might be offered to us, or what our chances of success are on something that needs a role. Okay, and then some. One factory in particular, they're asking for higher wages, less hours. You know how it is, my sweet. Nothing I haven't said at length, thinks her intellect. Christ above, the greed, the laziness. They do not understand how deeply they're hurting the industry. Do they not understand how deeply they're hurting this industry? Slowing us down? Okay, so we're going to be tactful, because that's what we took. And we're going to let Silas know what our thoughts are on this matter. You know, like maybe they like to have food for their children, not die at 30 years old, you know, that sort of thing. Our chances for success are 88%. They say it's a very easy skill check. Doesn't mean it can't go deep. And it went deep. Now, they are the backbone of the industry in the end. Perhaps their contentment would increase productivity. Contentment? Why should they not be content? I swear, my sweet, I'm this close to another round of cuts. See, this is the thing. They figure that you're so desperate for a job that you're willing to put up with any shit off of them. This sounds like it's like a mirror of our modern day situation, isn't it? Let's see them complain about fewer hours when the alternative is none. Freeze them out. See how they like to lose their house. Her intuition, does he honestly believe that any significant number of his workers could afford a house? Perhaps it's just a turn of phrase. You do know that there were families, plural, living in a single room with a pot for a toilet in the corner and some very horrid things going on. It's not a pretty situation at that time. We're not that far yet. Okay, so let's ask him, where did you ever find this fan? People like to have their gifts appreciated. Where did you ever find this fan? It's quite the piece. Ah, found my gift, eh? Lovely little bauble, isn't it? I know you've a bit of a collection, and I couldn't resist treating my favorite London dolly. Not too presumptuous, I hope. Oh, not at all. I appreciate the gesture, Dove. Well, I'm sure you'll find a way to thank me when we next meet, right, my sweet? Okay, when would you like to meet again? Now, enough of that. It's just Silas for you, my little minx. Lord brag, ha! The novelty never wears thin. I pray only that more Cyclopses may someday follow in my footsteps and earn her Majesty's praise. Intellect, for all his bluster, there are some causes he truly does care about. It is. But to your question, I'm afraid I'll have to get in touch. Busy these coming days, and plenty of irons in the fire. But mark me, I'll send word to my sweet Miss Clara as soon as I'm free. I look forward to it. So I'd best be off. It was wonderful as always. Oh, that's what she's saying to him. I'd best be off. It was wonderful as always. Don't be a stranger, my dove. Of course not, my dear. I'll be seeing you sooner rather than later, I think. Ah, till then. Get me out of this hellhole. Seemed appropriate at the moment, so let's go down to the wharf. Soft light breaks through the dense London fog and falls across the leafing paint of the fishmonger's stalls. I think we're going to use this as a thumbnail. This close to the sea, the smog of London is usurped by the salty bit of tidal decay. Fish bones and English waste mingle on the edge of the metropole, coating the stone walls of the quay and cobbles below in a thin and foaming slick. Escape is so close at hand, and the tawdry cavern which has been your living tomb shall be no more, fate's willing. When they search for you in the morning, they'll find little more than an empty room with its door flung wide. Just one more night of this. So before I click through that, I want to get a screenshot of that for my thumbnail. Let's lower that to 3 seconds. Just shits and grins to, okay, right across the screen. Okay, and that's for me for later as a thumbnail. It's really nice. The graphics are possible. I'll say it that way. But they're pretty good. They're pretty good. The nostalgic reek of London's ports. My partner and I, when we're in Paris, we go, oh, eau de Paris. That smells like piss along the Seine. It's a fine day by London standards, quite nearly refreshing. Almost a pity to spend it bustling about making plans for my egress. And for those of you who don't know, egress is when you go in. Egress, digress. Now I'm asking myself if I'm not confused. I'm going to look at my trusty dictionary again real quick. I do suffer from memory problem issues because of having been exposed to extreme levels of stress for over 2 decades. And nobody would do anything to help me here. So, egress, the act or an instance of going. Oh, so that's the going out of. So, wanted to check that. So, I wonder if I'll miss this city. At least it saves me from a morning stroll with Cyrus. This dreamy, fog-swamped city can't be left quickly enough. I think I'm going to choose that one. Shits and grins. So, see, here's the thing. See the black bile there? That's what I was talking about. The black bile goes with the intellect. You'll see the yellow bile will go with the intuition. There's just these various ones that we can, these choices we make will have an effect on our personality in essence. My musings are cut short by the hacking, gasp or cough, of a longshoreman somewhere off a ways hauling his cargo out for the day. Ingress. Ingress is when you go in, egress is when you come out, and digress is when you diverge. I digress a lot. Best not keep Green Street waiting, though I will indeed miss London, I suspect. That's more than enough mawkishness for now. Green Street should be around here somewhere. Okay, mawkishness, by the way, exaggerated or childish emotionality. Something that I see around me constantly nowadays. And something that I am also myself guilty of from time to time. So Green Street is supposed to be back here. Let's get some gears and cogs. I showed you in the first chapter that grabbing the gears and cogs, you can sell these for a little bit of clink. Bric-a-brac likely in a machine once. If I want to earn some extra coin, I can shop this to an engineer. Finders keepers. So we are now here. Visit Green Street on the London docks and acquire passage on his ship. Okay. And that just tells us we gained some. Oh, we got some nice coin in there. Is that what we had when we left chapter 1, by the way? Did she inherit our Minotaur's money? He will buy the clink from me. Look in the slag pile. Coat tailings from the warehouse, no doubt. Steam requires coal, but the byproducts, gypsum, slag, and fly ash, can be reused. Abrasives, cement, roofing materials, just to name a few. Who knows how long this will sit here before anyone repurposes it. Excuse me. Wow, it's just so cold in here. I would assume it was piled by one of the trash processing automatons employed by Arsenal. Arsenal Engines, producer of consumer machines and advanced devices. Okay. And by the way, I know these kinds of games are hard for some people because we've become so accustomed to games where we don't really have to think. Okay, the most that people think in most games nowadays is what is the best build. They've researched that on the internet. They create that character and then they just power through. Those are power gamers, by the way. We role players like to play the character. That's what it's about for us. Knickknacks and spare parts scattered around the ground. I bet an engineer would part with a sum for this lot. Let's gather the pieces. Perhaps I'll run across someone soon who's keen on having these. I have not played this entire game. I did play through a fair portion of chapter 2, or at least some portion of it. Not having played through the whole thing, I can't say how much of it was. So, sturdy wire rope for keeping boats moored to piers. She definitely did not inherit his inventory, however. Ooh, that's always a good thing for a street prostitute to have. Hard for one's proverbial sail to catch the wind in this city. A sea dog like me is perpetually adrift. A maritime mixture of metaphors, enough to make me seasick. So we can ask him for a cigarette, all the more reason to seek one's fortune elsewhere. Good luck to you, sir, in any case. Or it is dire straits, particularly for the poor. Let's hope the future holds promise for us all. Let's ask him for a cigarette. Pardon me, sir, but could I borrow a cigarette? Are you going to give it back when you're done? Ew. I don't see why not. Good for the Constitution, you know. I just asked him for a cigarette. And he gave me one. Ouais. That would be really weird, wouldn't it? You just keep asking for a cigarette? What a mooch. Felipe Serrano, a regular at the Rose. A wiry young Spaniard gazes wistfully across the canal. Like most seamen, he carries an esoteric reverence for superstitions, but holds a singular enthusiasm for the unknown that rolls along with the tides. Hark to that. He's in the middle of a song. It's a lovely tune that I recognize from somewhere but cannot place. Is that the tune her mom used to play on the phonograph? Hey, Señorita Clara, buenos días. Igualmente, mi amigo. It says likewise here. Oh, my apologies, Clara. So, estuve en las nubes. Head in the clouds, indeed. Ask him what the song is he was singing. I was singing. Oh, I had no idea. So we can tell him your baritone could really use some work. Do we really have to be rude to people? I only understood a few words, but it sounded passionate. Isn't it weird? Y'all watch some of my videos and you think I'm one person, and then you find out actually when I play other games, I'm like, do we really have to be rude to people? Do we have to be rude? Do we have to laugh at people? Do we have to make fun of them? Do we have to belittle them? And I call people idiots a lot. That's just a statement of fact. Seriously. But I don't think we need to, go up to individual people and belittle them. I'm not that person. Okay, so I tilt my head and smile at him a bit. Ah, quizás. It is a song from Violeta. A troupe was touring in Spain during my last visit home. Just the title of the aria alone spoke to me. De miei volenti spiriti. It perfectly describes how my heart feels. We're not a polymath. Last time I could ask him that. Okay, I chose a different character this time. You don't know of the opera? I haven't heard of it. Ah, well, you're missing out, Señorita Clara. Porque es muy hermosa. Okay, so this is because, porque, it is very, so beautiful, hermosa. No? Okay, and he's talking about how full his heart is. Dear me. Who might he have taken up with? Who is she, might I ask? Or, I've noticed you frequenting the Rose as of late. Does one of the girls have your heart feeling this way? That's more tactful. And we are playing a tactful woman here. So you should always play something that challenges you. I used to be very tactful when I was young. I fear that the devil will yank the rug out from under me if I tell you who. I have rarely been so lucky in love. Felipe, you don't go to a call house to find love. Yeah, let's ask if she reciprocates. I don't know what the girl feels. It's not my business, really. See, because at first she took my money, but last night she did not. She pressed it back into my palm and kissed me. Esto es peligroso para ella. But this is the way it is so often in love, isn't it, Claire? So for those of you who don't speak Spanish, this is dangerous for her. Dios mío, my God, no. When I was walking home, I felt as if the fisherman's words fade as I grapple with what he's revealed. In this line of work, there's a rule that reigns supreme. You always accept payment. Even if her actions are sincere, she has reaped a disservice on us all. This is how that should read. Tup, a penniless cobbler, a crude term used by prostitutes meaning to have sex. Ah, okay. So if you fuck a penniless cobbler and their payment should be mended, and their payment should be mending your most worn shoes. It's still payment, right? The price of our company is also our protection, what little we have. So when word gets out that a client has become an exception, every Tom, Dick, and Harry assumes they will be the next one, or could be the next one. And so I'd like you to have a pollock on the house type of fish. I squash my inner monologue just as he ends his. I haven't the faintest idea why he's offering me this fish. Did I truly drift off that long? Does she think it's payment for sex? She was in her own little world and her hand wandered and now she's being paid for it. Right. Ah, gracias. Can you believe this is all came up to Tim's this morning? The new steamships are such a wonder and filthy. He points toward a near bursting net wiggling with fish. My heart is filled with abundance. Now my net is too. It has to be a sign. That's lovely, Felipe. But you said it yourself. The girl may be in danger because of this. Who is she? Now we're going to abandon tact, apparently. Lo siento. I'm sorry. Señorita Clara. Let the pollock double as an apology as well. Every seaman here will tell you the fates are fickle, and I cannot tempt them by telling you her name. Not until I have her answer to a very precious question. Precious? He's planning to propose. As they say, only fools rush in. Okay, so we have the choice between being tactful. Well, I hope the fates will look kindly upon you. I like that one. Intuition, overcome with passion as you are. I imagine you'll ask her tonight. I'm going with number 2. So curious. He presses his lips in an anxious smile. By the saints, if this is a doomed romance if I've ever seen one. It's not our business. I'm a strong believer it is not my business, you know. As an American, I came over here to Germany sticking my nose into everyone's business at every turn. And it didn't take me long to learn it's not my business. Escape me out things on. Okay, so the fisherman's bride. We have a new task, it seems. Sticking our nose in everyone's business here. It seems like Felipe has been seeing a dolly lately. Worryingly, she turned down payment for her services. This may warrant further investigation. OT. Let's go check the ferry schedule. Shits and grins. One should always have a backup plan. Here's where the steam ferry leaves from. No one around at the moment, only my reflection in the drab river water to keep me company. Okay, so let's read our choices. My figure, like my future, is soft and wavering. It fails to settle into a certain shape. Okay, or would that I could toss my woes into the harbor, let them sink to the bottom and never resurface. Wow, that would be like really hopeless, wouldn't it? If only escaping London were as easy as snaking aboard the ferry, but there are documents to print and loose ends to tie up. This for me is my intellect. So see, we gained phlegm, and the phlegm corresponds to our tact. We could use some more intuition, I think. Methinks we could use some more intuition. Ooh, tea. Begging cigarettes off of fishermen, and let's talk to the centaur dockhound. The dockhound are these gang of thugs who rule the docks. This centaur dockhound has clearly been through it. She must have a rap sheet a mile long. That is one of Molly's better qualities. She protects her flock from the law. All right there. I'm Claire Reed, an associate of Molly's. Huh? I never seen you before. and I'm usually good at spotting those who stand out. Any road, I'm Helena Bailey. I'm what you might call a private contractor now, or Molly and I used to run together in the old days. It's been some time since we parted ways. Let's pick number 2. Yeah, you and half the crooked women in London. Oh, shies. I thought there was going to be more. Sorry. Basically, she just told me to sod off, so. Ransacked nests, a raven's nest, abandoned, no ransacked, likely by a rogue automaton pigeon while the nest's inhabitants were away. How rude. Okay, so Crimson Herring Tavern. This feller's pretty nice. Oi there. Don't sway away from me too soon. Name's Glenn Forrester, Lieutenant in the Royal Navy. Why would we critique his uniform? A Navy man. Well, I'm Clara Reed. It's a pleasure to be acquainted. That's right. Well, I'm retired to be precise, but the active service took me all over the Mediterranean. If you ever want a sea tale, I'm your man. Well, let's do a sea tale then. Okay, I'll take a sea tale. Let's hear it then. This encounter took place upon Thrinacia, a rocky little island barely worthy of a name, to the southwest of Sicily. I was the officer in charge of a team of 7 sent ashore to replenish our fresh water. Okay. The land is quite barren there. They must have been hard pressed. When at last we found a high stream in the hills, that sounds like he's telling the truth then, right? We were ambushed by a cyclops. But this was more like the great monster who terrorized Odysseus than our London cyclops tradesmen, and scientists and what have you. I've heard tale of them before. Cyclopses in remote areas, ranging far above the city-dwelling folk. This creature was wild, animalistic, and a meter taller than any man or woman that I've seen before of their ilk. He jumped down from a high ledge, focused on us rather than on our stack of water casks, upon which he broke a leg. Okay, now I'm confused. This is a poorly organized sentence. He jumped down from the ledge, focused on us rather than our stack of water casks, upon which he broke a leg. Did he break his leg on the water casks? Or did he break his leg from falling from the ledge and being too focused on them? He was little trouble to vanquish then. Yeah, okay. Saints above! I had feared some kind of disaster. At least you didn't lose any men. What troubles me about the ambush on Thrinacia is that from then on, I've been consumed with anti-Cyclops prejudice. Bigotry runs rampant throughout London, and the world for that matter, at least he admits it. Logically, I know it's wrong to judge an entire species based on one harrowing event. So I strive to be conscious of these emotions, the better to counter them. Okay, so I know how he feels. People often think less of me because I'm a woman. Prejudice can often get the better of us. For example, everyone takes me for a dolly. She is a dolly. Someone who needs a male escort to defend her. I think I picked number 1. She is actually a dolly, although she may not need a male to escort her. As a dark-skinned man in the Navy, I faced this sort of travail. It was the work of many long years to achieve the rank of Leutnant in German, times in which I gave everything I had to my country. Poor fellow, his wooden leg is a testament to that. My point is there are great odds stacked against certain people, and one must be vigilant as one rises up, not to become caught up in the tipping of the scales against the meek. In other words, what he's saying is the Cyclopses are also a population that suffer from prejudice, and so he fights not to add to that himself, being himself of a specific subset of the population, let's say it that way, that tends to suffer. It's the same. I was expecting a sea tail, and I got so much more. Thank you for the enlightening story, or admire your resolve, Mr. Forrester. It's a firm reminder that there is always a better way of looking at the world. I think I'll take number 1. Okay. Happy as ever to share my side of things, and here's my way of saying thanks for lending me an ear. Oh, at least he didn't pass me the ear. He passed me a bottle of brown liquor. John Silver Gin. A little something I picked up on one of my seafaring adventures. I would have preferred a fan. I'm not collecting booze this time. Why, thank you, Glenn. You shouldn't have. No trouble at all. Okay, ask him something else. Now I'm curious about something, Mr. Forrester. Now that you're retired, what do you fill the hours with? Well, I must admit, the pension isn't so much to write home about. They wouldn't have had that turn of phrase back then. So I work a couple of side jobs. At least I don't think they would have. I'm not an expert in this particular time and place in history. What I know I learned from the Anne Perry books, as I said in the other one, and a few other sources. I like to read a lot of old literature. So, okay, and what might that be? Let's see, or surest sight I know about running ragged to make ends meet. Care to expand or expound? Sorry, Miss Reed, but I prefer my business affairs private. Begging your pardon. Oh. Best not to press him. He's already grown nervous. Okay, understood. The sea tail it is. I think he already told me his sea tail, didn't he? Appreciated. Take care of yourself. Okay. Ooh, tea. I can't quite... I was trying to get a handle on what that says. A stunning invention for its time, though a bit dated now. What with the steam-powered velocimotives... Oh, the motorcycles, velocimotives, okay? I've seen along the avenues. The spokes are patinated, like they have a patina. With rest, it must not be getting much use. All the same, we're looking at the wheel here. All the same, I'm surprised it hasn't been stolen, sitting out in the open like this. So I will frankly admit I had cataracts in both eyes at 34 years old. Had to have my lenses replaced, and periodically the crystals grow back. Okay, this has been fun for the Germans to learn how frequently the crystals will grow back, because most people who get this are over 70. Nobody knows why I got it. I have a theory about it. It's not a pretty theory, and I can't get confirmation from people who have no idea what it is I'm talking about. Anyhow, so I've got crystals growing back on both of my eyes, and I have an appointment for the 21st of March. So for the moment, however, I am struggling. The light hurts my eyes, and I'm struggling to be able to make things out. So he gave us some booze. Now we have 2. We have Lady Braxton gin, and we have Jonathan Silver gin. And whether we like it or not, we seem to be collecting a great deal of gin. Shuttered till later in the day. Okay, so... let's finish exploring down here. Then we'll go talk to the feller we need to talk to. Recruitment poster. What are they recruiting for at this point? Throw off the yoke of despotic gang bosses and join the Dockhounds. Big money and lifetime loyalty await. £10 signing bonus. At the bottom, in smaller print, must be able to lift a grain sack equal roughly to a young dwarf. That's not exactly as specific as it sounds. So, this has slowly turned into iced cappuccino, which is just not my thing. It's not my bag. Madam, have you heard? Ladies like yourself are being targeted. How presumptuous. Do I look like a whore? For now, it's sunny, sure, but you'd better tuck in early tonight. Fair enough. Now, what is this little poppet yammering about? His concern is genuine, despite the fact that he's slinging newspapers. Now, some of the, like, I wouldn't have called him a poppet necessarily, but okay. Sometimes it's a bit forced, the dialect of the day. A bright young capitalist, if I ever saw one. The name is Rob, madam, and you might as well add the little. Most people think I'm short for a Cyclops, but I'm still growing, honest. Back home at the tenements, I keep track of it with a yardstick taped to the wall, so he has a real hang up with it. That's an awful strange way to introduce yourself, even for the East End. Okay, so here's hoping your business grows as well. Does it trouble you so much that you're a bit smaller than the average Cyclops? Number 2. Seriously? I suppose it does, Mrs. If there was some kind of potion or charm I could take to speed things up, but that's just a dream. I'd better focus on my business. So, now we have a task to find him a remedy. Here, a little bit of this gin will help. Here's hoping your business grows as well. Oh, speaking of business, care for the latest blood boiler. I also have a bulletin covering other goings on. Only 1 penny. So, there's a lot of parallels if you look at this between then and now. People in the sensationalism and the just needing to be driven up into their emotional centers constantly. I wouldn't mind learning about London's latest going-ons. So it's 1 pence, 1 penny, 2 pence, 1 penny, 2 pence. A woman of ill repute met a grisly demise in the East End last night, just days from the full moon. The sinister assailant left a body stripped of vital organs and bearing marks suggesting feral claws. St. John's Cathedral is offering a service on her behalf. Alms appreciated. Morning news added to our inventory. See, madam, that story's so hot off the press that it might catch your fingers afire. Watch out. Ha 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 ha. It's not fire I'm worried about. Okay, what is it you're selling? Broadsides. Single sheets of paper. Oh, what is it you're selling? Broadsides? Okay. And choirs of sheet music, not to mention the latest on the courtesan killer. A story that could... A story that could have been written about me should Lady Luck abandon me so... How much money do we have? Be throwing our money around here? Here's a shilling, but keep the broadside. Tell me what you've heard about this mystery killer. Okay, everybody's got their own pet opinion, but I think the ladies have been killing themselves. I heard from a chap at the tavern who had it from a stevedore that people have been having the have is missing. That's it. People been having these fits where they tear themselves apart. My brain needs that. Looks just like they was chopped up with a hatchet. Okay, number 2 then. I suppose any theory is better than what the coppers have presented. And I really do think coppers is a slang term for cops that came from New York. I don't think it's one that they were using in London, but I'm not sure. I'm not well acquainted enough with the dialect of the Brits throughout history. Perhaps I'll ask around at the Rose if I have time. Okay, well, let's do that. So now we have the courtesan killer too. Thanks, madam. And for those of you who don't know, I was surprised that my son, who's 30 years old, did not know that a pub is short for a public house. Okay, I was kind of shocked that, his father was a professor of history. His mother is also an historian. I don't have my PhD in history. But, and he didn't know that. So coppers comes from, as far as I'm aware, the copper buttons that they wore. But anyhow, though. Okay. It'd seem you ankle on the docks quite often. Wish they'd tell me how in the world they're using the word ankle there. Mightn't you know something of that feller outside the tavern? It's going to be, I'd best be going now. Now let's do number 1. Do you know anything about him? Oh, Glenn, do you mean? Buys my loose cigarettes, but never papers. Have you any idea what he does for a living outside of standing by the tavern telling stories? I didn't get to do this dialogue last time, so as I said, I've played through portions of chapter 2, but not farther. Well, good madam. He's an ambulance driver. Does a bit of business with Mr. Gray, if I'm not mistaken. Gordon Gray, that is. Gordon Gray, the keeper of the apothecary over in Soros Square. But the old sailor is cagey about his jobs. I don't advise you asking him direct like, or he might shut his yapper, old barnacle that he is. Okay, I'd best be going now, little duck. Watch out for hobnails and don't work too hard. See, some of the dialect feels sort of forced, but it's interesting. Or those shoes will be worn down for winter. Okay. Why do we say that? In Kentucky, we have a saying that you get new shoes. You know, you run around in the summer a lot without your shoes on because you don't really need them until you step on a wasp. Yes, I know that from personal experience. But come fall, you need a new pair of shoes. You have to make sure you have good shoes, and then you have good shoes over the winter. So that's what happens when you're poor. And you can't always afford new shoes, especially when children grow so fast. Judging by the rust on its finish, that crane hadn't seen use in a long time. Okay, let's go see the dog. Come here, dog. Stray dog. He's that's a blue Merle collie. Strange, seeing a purebred without a collar. Perhaps he ran away. Looks like he's been in a few brawls at that. Needs a proper meal if you ask me. I don't think he's going to want the fish. It's a bit stinky. He sniffs at it but doesn't seem interested. Okay, let's snatch it back. Oh, fuck me. We just lost our fish. No. Well, let's go find something to eat for the dog while we're looking at other stuff. Let's go talk to Mr. Green first, though. We've done pretty much everything else we can do here. We've, in point of fact, done everything else we can do here. 43 minutes in the stream, and I'm already yawning. I don't even know. I was asking my partner about the concept of boredom today because I really genuinely don't it's like envy. Envy is an emotion I don't feel. If somebody else has something, if I want it, I should work for it to get it. If I can't work for it to get it, I'm just SOL. It's just, and I'm always happy for people when they have things. And I'm not thinking about, oh, I wish I had that, Like I might say to myself, oh, I would like to have something like that. But I'm not thinking to myself, I want to have theirs. You know what I mean? Just trying to understand the concept of boredom. Let's go talk to the engineer. And the word in German is Langeweile. It means that the time gets drawn out, like time is just hanging on you. And I don't have that because I have a rich fantasy world that I go into if I'm ever just sitting there with nothing to do. And now I know why I don't get bored and other people get bored. It was kind of interesting. Something that's been sort of working in the back of my head. A studious man turns away from his workbench where the innards of an open watch face glint in the sun. He momentarily loses focus and a steel spring twangs in my direction. So we dodged the spring quite deftly, I might add. So the blood corresponded to our grace, which we could also use more of. I cock my head at the last moment. The errant spring zips past my ear, and the man snatches it out of the air with shocking alacrity. He's ver fast. Not terribly unlike dodging the affections of some love-struck fool. So that added hope. That is down here. Let's see. Poetry can be much more painful when it connects. That didn't actually add any hope to our thing here like it should have. Or maybe it will at the end of the conversation. Look at that filler. I don't know what it is. It's a compelling face. I like it. I really like it. When I first encountered this, I just sat there and stared at that face. I just really, anyhow, people know I like my men with a little bit more meat on them. But I don't know what it is. Oh, you blazing mechanical fools are... oh, didn't see you there, miss. He shifts his demeanor with a practiced smile. Wharf automaton. What a clean lady. Here at Arsenal Warehouse number 3, we take pride in cleanliness. The wharf engineer, pardon me, miss, for the temporary mishandling. Whom do I have the pleasure of meeting on this fine day? Oh, proper English. Just makes you wet. Don't worry about it. My name is Clara Reed, and yours? Or a fine day? Well, at least the sea air cuts through the smoke and fog. I'm Clara Reed. What may I call you? Let's do that one. Okay, so we gain some black bile, giving us a little bit more intellect. We really need some intuition here. A fine day. Okay, we said that. Okay, he says Dante Ziegler. Ziegler. This is the thing. Z in German is TS, like the C in Czech. Okay, Dante Ziegler, at your service. What brings you to the wharf? Oh, is this not a butchery? What a terrible mistake on my part. Or I was just passing by and I thought I would stop a moment and see what you're working on. Number 2. Let's at least not sound like an idiot. Ah, well, I beg your pardon again, Miss Clara. But I'm a bit busy at the moment. And they didn't have this Ms., by the way, back then. That didn't exist. Either you were Miss or you were Mrs. Busy waiting, that is, for my illustrious employer to finally arrive and give orders of the day. That'll be Lord Braxton at Arsenal. The wharf automaton. Lord Braxton wears wonderfully clean suits. That means he's a good man. It sounds autistic, doesn't it? The man can be an absolute tyrant to his employees whilst managing to completely ignore them at the same time. Makes me wonder what he's up to in his private life, but I'm not one to pry. She had him between her legs last night, so I don't reckon she's going to say too much about that. It doesn't seem like this man knows about my vocation, which is a pleasant change. I've heard there are some remarkable goings on at Arsenal, or funny you should mention him. He and I are intimately acquainted. No, I don't think so. Let's go with number 1. Like you wouldn't believe. Lord Braxton has his fingers in all kinds of pots. High, low, everywhere in between. Okay. Let's ask about the automatron first. What's up with your automatron? Ugh. Ugh. Do people, I say that sometimes, ugh, the kind that gives me a headache. I'm designated trash retrieval and processing unit. It's one of several that roam around the warehouse bumping into walls every couple of minutes before correcting course into another wall. For some reason, it thinks it should stand here and bother me. Mr. Ziegler produces a large amount of garbage. His suit is not clean. Okay, so, and what is your opinion of Mr. Ziegler? Upstanding moral character is correlated with cleanliness. Hey, trap. I think I see a mess in the water over there, right off the edge of the dock. So what sort of things is Lord Braxton involved with in high society? Don't tell anyone I said so, but the industrialists are the real power in this country and Parliament merely their mouthpieces. Despite that, it would seem that ruling from the shadows isn't enough for these blokes. I've heard that Arsenal has some kind of endgame scenario in the works. Okay. So Silas is scheming to change things. I wouldn't call that news, but the way this feller says endgame makes me a bit nervous. Okay, so why is he mixing with the lowborn? That beggars belief. I doubt a fine lady such as yourself would have seen such things, but certain undesirable elements have been seen traipsing around with mechanical augmentations. Some say they bear the arsenal maker's mark. Scandalous. Molly and the Dockhounds in bed with Silas? I guess I'm not the only one. Okay. So I take it you're the sort who collects and pays for cogs? Sharp eye on you, indeed. I'll be happy to take any cogs off out of your pockets and fill them up with money. Yeah, it wasn't that much. Well, actually, he gave us they were giving us what were they giving us last time? Like 1 penny per cog. We're getting our butts ripped off. It was unbelievable. So, yeah. It's so. Okay, it certainly sounds like Lord Braxton has been keeping busy. Busy, right. It's been a pleasure, Miss Clare, but I'm afraid I need to get back to my project. Good day. And they say women are gossips. I can't imagine what this man would reveal after a few drinks. Loose lips, sink airships. That was a World War II motto, actually. Loose lips, sink ships. Without the air in it, of course. So now let's go and talk to Mr. Greenstreet, see what's going on here. There is Greenstreet, a Canadian smuggler who endures the brutality of nature and the unforgiving ocean in the name of profit. Okay. A pity to have to turn to him for passage across the pond, but my options are rather limited. Anyone who doesn't know what across the pond is needs to crawl out from underneath their rock. So, Mr. Greenstreet. Okay. Satiate my curiosity for a moment. Why do you need me when you have such prestigious bedfellows as Lord Braxton? It is also a compelling face. I like the person who did the drawings in here. It's very well done. I don't like the person, but I like the drawings. I don't know the person. Your curiosity will be left wanting. In my line of work, one learns it is foolish to ask a favor from one's clientele. Goodness, undermining your competence before my money is even in your hands. Quite honest of you. Let's pick number 2. In my line of work, you don't ask your clientele for these sorts of favors. Very well, I rescind my question. I ask only because a man of his stature could assist with this predicament. Was unaware I had one. Due to the recent import shortage of rubber gum from the Congo, the peelers, that's the police, have been engaging in more thorough dock inspections to keep the demand from reaching an underground market. He shoots me a look while scanning the horizon. The port's usual watchmen refuse my bribe. Either the coppers are paying him better or they're putting the fear of God into him. He grits his teeth around his pipe. That means changes to our agreement on smuggling you out of here. I'll need double the rate by tomorrow night. That's as generous as I'm willing to get while the constable's breathing down my neck. Let's pick number 3. Double. Your initial payment was ludicrous as it was. You're a clever woman. You'll figure something out. I suppose I'll have to. Chin up, Miss Reed. It's not all so dour. Lesser miracles have already happened. My contact pulled through. He takes a leather bifold wallet, that's one that folds in half, from his breast pocket. Go on, take a closer look. I untie the leather tassel and reveal the pleated papers. There's even an authentic-looking wax stamp. A new identity, mine for the taking. This alone costs a small fortune. Your tale is you've come to the Dominion of Canada to claim inheritance from your great uncle who served as a sailor under Napoleon. Well, that's a neat story. With the coup going on in France, any attempts to verify my familial origins would be a nightmare. Okay, I'll be taking that back for now. Okay, how am I meant to measure the legitimacy if you won't let me look at it? Suppose you'll just have to take my word. Greenstreet tucks the documents into his breast pocket. If I'm not here on the docks, then you'll find me in the tavern. Gather up the capital as we'll be ready to leave. To leave off. Okay, come dawn. Okay, well, that could have gone better. Now what do I do? I'm hardly without allies. Okay, I turned to Greenstreet because I didn't want to rely on anyone else, but now it seems I have no choice. Okay, fine. Who can I ask? I've met many people during my time in London. Molly, leader of the Dockhounds. I ran with her in our bullfrog days. What does that mean anyhow? 40 bullfrogs, a now defunct criminal gang that specialized in thievery, okay? And she was the one who put an end to those days. Far too dangerous to approach unless you've got a death wish. Okay. And one of the main reasons I'm leaving London behind in the first place. Okay, well, we weren't unaware of that fact, so -5 hope. Oh, let's try Dolores. Dolores Chen runs the laundry in the Red Lantern district. The finest fence in London. We've done business before. She's always treated me right. Maybe it's time to pay her a visit then. Okay. That didn't give us any hope back. That sucks. Who's Clem? Clementine Radley, bartender at the Palladium. Best not tell her I'm leaving. No, but she's good for gossip. Might be she has a lead on some tin making opportunity. Clink, clink. Worth a shot at least. There's a cyberpunk fans know why I keep calling it Clink. Okay. Teresa Lincoln, a dear friend. One of the only things about London I'll miss. It would break my heart to tell her I'm leaving. Best keep her far away from all this skullduggery. Okay. Debris. +5 hope. Okay, so we evened out in the end. That's it then. So down here, this has not been moving the way that it should be, which is not that great. So now we have a ton of things that we're looking at doing. It only tracks 4 at a time up here on the screen, by the way. By the by. So, so we need to go find Dolores. Now, there is a map in this game, by the way. Just hit the M button. We can see where we need to go. Let's see, St. Catherine Docks must be where we are right now. See, there's our little symbol. We need to go to the Red Lantern Lane. Let's go to Sovereign Square first, however, and see what's going on over there. OT. So like I said, for those of you who are just joining me or in a past broadcast or live, if you're not subscribed, press the subscribe button, don't hit it. And this is Sovereign Syndicate. It is set in Victorian London in an alternate reality where there are fantasy creatures such as minotaurs and cyclopses and such. And it is a steampunk theme, as you see, which makes sense for the Industrial Revolution. In Sovereign Square, the East End's crossroads of commerce and vice, the medieval cobbles still bear the weight of modern wheels and footwear. The streets, alleys, and plazas have avoided being pressed into the bilious black of macadam gracing the lanes around Piccadilly, Kensington, and other wealthy areas. You've heard it said that due to an ongoing trademark dispute, each individual stone would need to be granted a day in court before its removal to make for smoother pavement. Sovereign Square's amenities and surroundings attract people of varying moralities. Even so, the elites of London rarely cross the River Lee, and anything east of Aldgate is commonly held as out of bounds except for urgent errands. Okay, so you do have these, as I said, there's the rich areas, there's the dirt poor areas, and they backed on each other in Victorian London. Okay, so we have several. Let's go take a look at the broken window. A lightning bolt fracture runs down the otherwise remarkably clean window. Okay, let's take a closer look. On the ground beneath it lies a mess of tiny gears and lacy aluminum feathers. Is that a steel talon by the wayside or just a hobnail? This automated bird must have flown blindly into the glass. Oh, yeah, that's really... I know it wasn't really a living creature, but there's something too terrible to consider about the whole scene. I'd best keep walking. Now that actually did have the effect. See, we didn't get the plus 5% before, which sucks. That's a glitch in the game. And now we've got a minus 5%. Follow 10-foot alley, a skinny passage with brick walls, and find yourself in a recessed enclosure where London's rodents are tenderly cared for rather than swiftly taken care of. Canvases sag on loose ropes above your head, and lanterns flicker dimly in the murk. Among the rustling and skittering of tiny feet and claws, Pavel Gerard, proprietor, stands at the ready. The floor is made of broken paving stones and pieces cast away from larger projects. Akin to his charges, Pavel is a scavenger at heart. The rats come in every size and receive all manner of treats when they behave. Displayed most prominently are his mischief of fancy rats, but Pavel trades in garden variety rodents too. Exotic snake owners often pay him a visit. It's a wonder the squeaking and scratching haven't driven Pavel mad, but the truth of his sanity depends on who you're asking. Fair enough. Okay, so the enter button does not work there. Okay, I'm not a huge... We have rats so big here in Germany. Without the tail, they get like this big, and they come by the rivers and stuff, or the bachs, the creeks, and you have to take a shovel to kill them. It's yeah, they eat some of the rabbits if they can get a hold of them. I should hope there's enough food for all of them. Otherwise, they'll start eating each other. That's true. Price board. Are we interested? The good thing with self-employment is keeping all the profit, as small as it might be. So I don't think we really have business down here. The Velvet Rose has its issues, but working as a rat catcher in the sewer, I can't imagine. So just shits and grins. Let's talk to him while we're here. Compelling faces they draw here. It's really interesting. Good day. It's not often I have a proper lady in the pinfold, but of course it does happen. Now then, what can I call my lady? Clara Reed, pleasure to make your acquaintance. Okay, pleasure's all mine, I assure you. Wait till Pavel Gerard's rats quit skittering so you may take your exact pick. Okay, so our choices are, sorry, Mr. Gerard, but these vermin are far too keen on biting for my taste, or precious to be sure, but I haven't time to care for the sweet thing. Yeah, let's pick number 2. We chose a tactful character to challenge myself. Understandable, Miss Reed. Someday, if you'd like to carry one home, just let me know. So we wanted to back out of that with as much grace as humanly possible. Well, you never know where you're going to need them again. Let's just be honest about it. Let's go over here, too. You can't turn the screen in the game. It is an interesting game. There is a lot of reading. For those of you who do not like to read, there is no voice acting, okay, which allows them, of course, to be able to sell it in more languages more easily. In Soros Square, the East End's Crossroads. Okay. We've already read that, actually, when we came in from the other side. Ooh, tea. So let's go to the cook fire, see what's going on here. Should have brought a rat with me. Ah, the dance of the flames in the open air recalls my travels to the Romani, where every morning brought fresh air and new vistas. And when our luck ran low, we simply shared what we had instead of squabbling over our money or over money. Okay, so we don't get this one because we don't have the proper characteristics. Okay, our choices are, but these folks aren't on a romantic adventure. They're cold and hungry, and camaraderie can only do so much to alleviate troubles like that. Or number 2, but soon this, if all goes well, I'll be free of London's stinking smog and crowded lanes, and I'll wake every day in the open countryside if I wish it. Number 2, yeah. That's why we're trying to, oh yeah, that gave us some hope back. That's good. The hope, this actually opens or closes dialogue choices, as does, all of these. Your temperament and your personality, so to speak. OT. So let's go talk to the stew bum. I hope he's not stewing his bum. Sadly, there are a lot of vagrants in this end of London. If I ever met this feller, I can't recall his name. Ah, good day to you, sir, madam. And who might you be? We met him when we were playing the Minotaur. He was the vagrant in the other part. Call me Clara Reed. Why, the woebegone look. Is something wrong? Don't bring us down. Well, something is wrong, since you asked. I'm awful dry, milady, parched something fierce. The name's Poe Pickett, by the by. Don't suppose you could help a man who's down on his luck. We're saving to get out of Dodge. I don't think that it would be a good idea. Yeah, I'm telling him to get a job. Surely there are workhouses about where you can earn enough for a drink. Oh, Mum, but you don't know what it's like in those. Most would rather die. Then they better do so and decrease the surplus population. Then perhaps they should and decrease the surplus population. That's a famous quote from the Scrooge stuff there, If you don't know it, watch the Muppet Christmas Carol. Excellent. Like the Prudent Street Dolly, these spare parts stick to the shadows where neither Bobby nor pedestrian can notice them. Okay, they'll be especially safe in an engine man's pockets. Okay, we don't really need to sleep in the beds for vagrants, but we could just take a look and see. This is sort of gaming mentality, take everything that's not nailed down and investigate everything. London's solution to vagrants sleeping on the sidewalk is to provide them with beds on the sidewalks? Crates? Does this hide the issue or simply cause people to equate vagrants with corpses? They do rather look like, they're crates. Okay, let's investigate the open barrel. Best give that barrel a wide berth. I can smell it from here. Our Cyclops would have dug in it. Oh, we can get food for the dog. Y'all remember the dog we encountered. Let's get some food for him. We won't give the guy 6 pence for booze, but we'll spend 5 pence for a piece of meat for the dog. Oh, we should be deeply ashamed of ourselves. Since we're going back there and we can sell the gears and cogs, let's grab the gears and cogs. And I want to take a look at that motor car. The gears and cogs are down below. Bummer, dude. So not the safest car out there. Looks like the whole thing will fall apart at the second it moves. Okay, so the tab button, by the way, is what I'm using to highlight my choices. It's fascinating time. A fascinating time, actually. A lot of abject poverty, sadly. Growth medicine. Just some rubbish that sharply contrasts with what little greenery Saurus Square sports. They look discarded and valuable to anyone who makes a living tending machines. Finders keepers. So let's take a look at the fountain for a moment. since we're here. Shits and grins, right? The message is about as subtle as a giant hammer. Human beings are being replaced by machines to the profit of the ruling class. And it hasn't stopped, has it? And to the detriment of everyone else. And it just keeps going. People being replaced by what we call AI, which are not true AI, actually, by the by. I think I don't have the fish anymore for the cat. I was not able to get the fish back this time. Let's go to the costermonger. See what he's selling. Fine fruits and vegetables from Gulliver Dawson up for sale. Can I help the lady find something in particular? Purchase some fruit. Eye-catching fare indeed. Wonder if it tastes as just as great. Wunderbar, darling. Einfach fabelhaft. Hi, my love. What do you want? I've got just a second. Just a second. Come up here and say hi to everyone. Say hi to everyone. Say hi, dear. I have baby bunnies. His sister, you'll see her in the background. She's a little white one. She's been fighting with pneumonia and a naughty belly because the antibiotics tore up her belly. This is this is the sweetest little baby. You know what I have for you? Yeah. Do you know what I have for you? I have something delicious. I always have something delicious. I do. What do I have? Oh my goodness, what's that? Oh, no, don't chew on that. Don't chew on that. It's not a rabbit sweater. My rabbit sweaters have big holes on them in them because my rabbits chew on them. Who in the hair? Who in the hair? Who in the hair? Who in the hair? What? You don't want it? Okay, I'll let you down and then give it to you. Okay, just a second. He does make himself understood, however. Let me tell you, they do too. What's cute is they have a bowl. And when they want you to put something in the bowl, they'll stand in front of that bowl. And they'll stare at the bowl, then they'll stare at you, and they'll stare at the bowl. They make themselves understood. They truly do. So let's see what else we can do. I don't think we can... Having so much produce out in the open is bound to attract thieves and flies, by the way. Unending vigilance must be draining to the shopkeepers. Okay. Spit it out, woman. What does the poster say? And you'll see them running around. Sometimes he'll go zoom, 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 zoom. He is able to navigate the floors that don't have rugs on them, which makes him very special. His sister can do it too, the one that's still downstairs. His mother was able to do it. Sadly, we had to have her put down at the end of January. A poster encouraging werewolves to report to the containment zone from the day before the full moon until the day after. The poster might as well say, London will be safer if werewolves know their place. So let's look on the bright side. Society is hard-pressed to cut them any slack, but at least there are medications nowadays like moon cream. So this is made up by the game, by the way. Prohibitively expensive topical cream. That means you apply it, that slows or reduces but does not remove any effects of lycanthropy. Okay, well, remember that for those who can afford it. In case we should somehow contract it ourselves. So let's go back and go ahead and feed the dog and let us exchange our gears and see if we can buy another fish from the fisherman. He just, the one fellow just gave us that. I am never going to start using the word gifted, by the way. Gifted is I'm gifted and talented. Gave is I gave it to someone. I may have given it to them temporarily or permanently. That's a whole other thing. So soft light breaks through the dense London fog and falls across the leafing paint of the fishmonger stalls. This close to the sea, the smog of London is usurped by the salty bite of tidal decay. Fish bones and English waste mingle on the edge of the metropole. coating the stone walls and quay and cobbles below in a thin and foaming slick. Escape is close at hand. I think we did actually. I had the feeling we didn't read this, but maybe we did. Okay. Ooh, tea. Let's go see if the dog will be our friend. Sweetness, I got this one nice and softened up for you. How about this raw meat? Okay, so let's pet the dog. You get an achievement for that, by the way. Oh, that's a sweet spot right behind the ears. Baby. Can I have my fish? Bugger me. 5 pence for that. You suck. Hopefully we got some karma out of that at least. Maybe the dog will play into this later on, and we will be happy that we were friendly with him. Maybe we'll talk to the man again if we get the chance. Miss Claire, I'm still terribly busy. Here's some cogs for you. He pays really well compared to what they paid in the other part of the game. Splendid! Here's a little something for your troubles. I really do like that face. Fruit. Okay, so we're getting a tidy sum. How much do we... That's the one thing that really bothered me. The last of London. We don't know how much we're supposed to collect. We don't know how much we're supposed to collect. Oops, watch. So shits and grins, let's save this. We'll play for just a little while longer. We're not save scumming in this, by the way. It's still closed, I presume. So this is more of a... This is an exploration adventure game, as well as a sort of a choose your own... Sort of a choose your own adventure. I don't know how to explain it. You're definitely building your character over time. We don't need to read this again. We already read it, and I thought we would give that guy, yeah, let's go ahead and give him the money he needs for his booze. Maybe we'll get something. You never know when the karma's going to come around. Oh, wow. Okay, well that choice was rather permanent. C'est la vie. So up at the top is our hotel. I know that because I just made it to Doris's in the Red Lantern when I decided to go ahead and restart the stream for y'all. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did you see that? Like the monorail in Seattle. I've actually ridden on that. We lived all over the place in the United States of America when I was a child. Now I've been over here in Europe running around for 23 years. Okay, so likely those spare parts got swept to the side so pedestrians don't trip on them. Also likely that whoever did the sweeping didn't know the tinkers pay a handsome sum for them. That's true, or they would have snapped them up. This is very true. One thing I won't miss about London is constant state of decay. How much steam is wasted just from this little leaky pipe, and how long before somebody notices? What's that feller doing there? Nandy's shop. What's the green wagon first? Hadn't been to any of these, by the way. By the by. To settle down or to live a vagabond's life post-crossing. Let's see how my feelings evolve throughout my transatlantic journey. She has turned philosophical. Go look at Nandy's shop and see what's going on there real quick. Entering Nandy's shop is like stepping into a forest. She prides herself on strictly natural remedies. Oh, we might be able to find a cure for the dwarfs. Cyclops. the dwarfin cyclops. So it's no wonder that the air feels suffused with a sort of wilderness. There are insects whose powdered bodies can cure a common cold, herbal preparations of every sort and substance, and even a body of gremlin floating in a jar. The latter would give you pause if you didn't know the truth, that the creature had possessed the basement and was attempting to spread its claim. Okay. So Nandy did the needful, and here the demon remains as a fair warning to any other invaders. Let me grab my Mountain Dew that I started yesterday. Hey, hi there, Wargaming Infinity. It's nice for you to jump into my channel here. We're trying out the Sovereign Syndicate, which is actually a newer game. How are you doing today? Okay, so an especially gifted healer when it comes to rare maladies, Nandy keeps a library of unusual treatments and the most comprehensive collection of tinctures in all of London. As y'all see as we're playing through this follows the rule of thumb that we gamers know well, and that is explore everything, pick up anything that didn't nail down, right? Might be useful. She awaits her customers from behind a walnut desk, upon which lies a pot of incense, a scattering of bird bones, and other arcane desiderata. It's a word I know, but I don't say very well, sorry. It looks decidedly Czech, a Czech plural there. While some of the less open-minded citizens of the Big Smoke can get the willies around Nandy, you know she means no harm. So welcome everyone again to my stream. Just click that subscribe button if you like my content, by the way, and turn on notifications so you know when I'm on. Hope everyone's having a great day. We are looking at the Sovereign Syndicate, which is set in Victorian London in an alternate reality. Steampunk, basic, that's what attracted my attention about it. But it's an alternate reality where there are fantastical creatures, so minotaurs, cyclopses, and such. And apparently gremlins as well. So let's take a look at the book collection. Spine after spine of herbal medicines, Nandy must be a fountain of knowledge. Although there are too many in London who fear her remedies. So the cauldron. Bleach white bones of various lengths and densities fill the cauldron. Old bones, nothing more. Okay, there is nothing of interest here. The withered gremlin. Here's the pest who tried to invade Nandy's basement, preserved forever as a warning against any and all of her enemies. Just the way we picture them, right? Little green buggers. So let's go look at her skull collection, talk to her, and I'm not sure about the spiral staircase. That seems like a very private place to go. Assorted skulls of several shapes and sizes, yet not a single creature is easily recognizable. By the way, guys, if you do write something in the chat, give it a minute. There might be a little bit of latency in the stream, and it might seem like I'm not answering you, but I promise you I am answering you. So I haven't got much use for animalian skeletal structures. Okay. This is a game for reasonably well-educated people, I feel. It's always a treat. And like I said, if you run into words that you don't know, do like I do. Keep your trusty, unabridged dictionary of the English language. And this is of the American and British English languages, by the way. It actually has both. Keep it at hand. For any words, I've found one word so far that I didn't know. You could just look them up. That's how you learn. That's how we learn, okay? It's always a treat to visit Nandy Bobaso in her shop, and I often learn something new for my troubles. Ah, sawubona, Clara. Something you need in my humble shop? Ask about the tree? This tree. It has more benefits than only being captivating, doesn't it? Oh, very perceptive of you. It has some beneficial properties indeed. Its strong roots produce a toxin utilized in many of my recipes, and so do its leaves. Besides, it saves me many an expedition to the forest. Time is money, as a person in your line of work would know. Biatch. Sada kala mfazi. Clara. Okay. So the steps are intertwined and with the twisting form of the trunk. Must lead to her private quarters. Okay, we don't have any business up there, obviously. I don't know why we couldn't ask her about a cure for the dwarfism of the, the Cyclops. Okay. Appreciate everyone stopping by the way. And do say hello in the chat. I think that's fine. I don't know why by the way, the word gaming, it doesn't have an E in it, is Gaming. Just so as you know. But I appreciate everyone who stops by. I think that's great. Just, because this game might not be your bag, and that's okay. And I'm doing this so people can kind of take a look at it and see if it's something they want. Whoa. I believe this path will take me to the fashion district, like I desperately need to spruce my appearance up. Alles klar. Besides, it's not just looks that matter or make or break a person. Character matters as well. I agree with that. People assume that I'm looking for revealing clothing, such is the courtesan's burden. Let's pick number 1. Ah, yes. So, actually, what's fascinating is somebody who's completely naked leaves nothing to the imagination, and it is not quite as exciting. Preacher. Hey, preacher man. Blessings upon you, dear soul. I'm Eli McBride, here to heed the Lord's word. I would have thought you had better things to do than preach to someone of my stature. I believe that's what the good book is for, no offense intended. Don't know what was offensive about that. A saloon. Let's see what's up with this. Exposed to the elements, the upholstery shows its age, like a fruit left to ripen in the sun. And, the apothecary. Mayhap they have a cure. I wonder what it would be like living a normal life behind an ordinary window. It's hard to imagine. It's just like I wonder what it was like for people who grew up in the same place. They lived in the same place their whole life. Is something I will never know. Okay, to passers-by, the apothecary looks like a simple shop that proudly advertises its purpose, right down to the lengthy name posted above the door. Gray's Apothecary, Therapeutic Medicines, Patents, and Tonics. That sounds like something I thought up. I'm incapable of summarizing. I write that very often in my bio, or I write yes. Bio? Yes. But once inside, you realize the exterior facade was only a veil for an abundance of eccentric wares. Tonics, at-home medical devices, and all sorts of oddments litter the shelves. That the shop's dimly lit I think that the shop's dim light also strikes you as peculiar, but the Cyclops proprietor may have intended it that way, perhaps to preserve his goods for longer. That sentence still doesn't really make sense for me. The sight of so many concoctions and apparat Apparati, folks. Apparati, not apparatuses. Apparati is enough to make one afraid of walking for fear of breaking anything and paying for the resulting damage. Since the cave-dwelling cyclopses, evolved to see well in the dark, you'd best not hide any indiscretions from the proprietor. Bleh, 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 bleh. Cyclopses. We picked up that gear. Okay, I was like, why is that lit up? Oh, alahob. Let's see what we have here. These roots are the least unnerving thing present in this room. I wonder if they're natural or if Gordon is feeding them something unique. Bottle cabinet. Ah, glowing bottles. Quite the eye catcher. I wonder how well they sell. But they're pretty. Right? Let's go take a look at the drawer. More drawers than one could find in an aristocrat's bedroom vanity or behind a hotel's front desk. Let's talk to Gordon then, eh? Gordon Gray is one of the slimmest men I've ever seen, and I've seen a few. It's a good thing I haven't any business in his shop. Good morning, miss. Is there anything I can do for you? I'm looking for something for a friend. Do you have a medicine that promotes growth in a person? Height, I mean. I've got this bottle of Greeley's. The label promises to make a person taller. Not one of my better sellers, so I'll let you have it for 3 pence. Sure. Shits and grins, baby. Okay. Saying my father used to have as a Marine, by the way. Happy to be of service. Anything else? Not at the moment. Thank you very much, dear sir. So we can go back to the boy because we have something for him. The dwarf cyclops. And by the way, thank you for stopping in. I am showing you this game in case it might be of interest to you. You can see what it is actually like. It is Victorian London. In an alternate reality, sort of a steampunk type thing going on here, which is what attracted my attention. There are mythical creatures such as minotaurs and cyclopses. Not always spelled properly, I think, but that's probably of interest to no one except insane people such as myself. So we're going to go back to, as I said, to the dwarfed cyclops. I'm sorry. I just find that to be so weird. That guy's still angry at us. We told him to get a job if he wants, because but we paid 5p for the meat for the dog. I don't know. I can be so big-hearted and so stingy. It's horrible. So, little Rob, something else I can do for, madam? Give him the medicine you bought earlier. Actually, there's something I'd like to do for you, Rob. Look what I found at Gray's apothecary. His eyes widen when he reads the label, then he slowly scans the rest. Greeley Growth Remedy, patented product, ancient bohemian recipe, that's check. Immediate results guaranteed. Core, this is wonderful. Thanks, madam. You've no idea how big a favor you've just did me. So we got 10 plus 10 hope out of that. So we did get something out of it. Can't even imagine it. Always a pleasure to put a smile on folks' face. I hope that remedy lives up to your expectations. That's the more important thing. Because we're miserable when our expectations don't meet reality. That's what makes us miserable. As soon as I'm done with work this week, I'll be sure to quaff it in one go. Soon people will quit treating me like a squirt in rags. That's the spirit. Don't you ever let anyone push you around. Okay. Oh, it can do no harm to boost his confidence. Something else I can do you for? Nothing at the moment, Poppet. Must be on my way. Okay. Wunderbar, darling. I'm fabelhaft. So we finished the quest for Rob's remedy here, and we do have a ton of quests that we get given. This is really an old, for me, this harkens back to some of the older games where you talked to everyone, you explored everything, you got a lot of quests given to you, you took anything that wasn't nailed down because it was going to be pertinent to something. That's my thing. So, Alahob, I still don't, the only qualm I have with this is we have a quest to get out of London. We're supposed to be paying this guy double the money. We don't know how much we're supposed to be paying him. Meet with Madame Zora at the Velvet Rose upstairs at the Palladium before my performance tonight. I should tie up any loose ends. So let's go see Dolores. Although we have not finished exploring that gorgeous square. So we're not going to read these transition screens over and over again. We do have this map. Okay, we're here now. Dolores is here. That much we know. Still chuckling to myself. Let's go up to our hotel room. That is as far as I got. I got to the hotel room. I hadn't been to the other places we've done here today. Over on this side I hadn't been yet. But I had been up here. And discovered something very unsettling. It's a copper. Okay, carriage. Horse-drawn carriages are being slowly phased out, but they're still more reliable than the new steam-powered cars. So we're at that point in time. Cabriolet. New French model now. Well, this design prioritizes the comfort of the passengers, a welcome change from previous iterations. Let's talk to the man on the ostrich. That face looks very much like the steam engine feller from before, if you look carefully. Salutations, Sir Willard Rathbone. Sir Willard Rathbone, at your service. Have any of my fine specimens caught the fair lady's attention, or was it simply my friend Dulcimer? Ah, yes, the illustrious pet broker, somehow still entertaining the notion that he's been knighted. The monkey on his shoulder is handsome, at least. No title for Dulcimer yet. Alas, Her Majesty has not yet recognized him with honors, but the day will come. The monkey would wear a knightdom better than some I've known. Okay, so let's comment on his ostrich mount. Perhaps he will appreciate that. My, that's a fine ostrich you're riding. Does it have a name? This here is Wallace. I love that blue flower, by the way. Just let him smell you first, and he'll be your loyal confidant. I don't know if he'll be my confidant. Probably not going to confiding in it. Oh, pretty. So, okay. He's having a bad day. Never mind him. I'm sure you'll be fast friends before long. Let's ask him about his business. Caring for such exotic animals must be a difficult business. It is profitable. I find it amazing because so many of us did play those old games, and this is in that sort of genre, as I've already said. You pick up everything that isn't nailed down. You have to then explore different dialogue, paths, variations. And that takes a little bit of patience. Okay. Oh, I prefer not to think about the profitability. One must do what one loves, not worry about such petty things as money. Yes, well, money helps pay the bills. What a polite way to say that one. What a polite way to say to one that one is out of touch. Or what is the polite way? Take the children begging on the streets. What? Okay, I won't take them anywhere, but do go on. Oh, bugger me. That tanked our hope. Exactly. There they are, spending all their time begging for alms. Utter lack of character. Imagine if they simply adjusted their perspectives. My Lord. Truly, every orphan could be a successful capitalist if only they tried harder. You don't see you don't see me moping about asking for donations simply because the price of food is twice what it was last year. Well, we're in touch with that one over here. Chin up, I say. Lease a few hectares of your family's farmland. And Seize the day, tally-ho! Whose family has farmland? If nothing else, this man has quite admirable optimism. Apparently he is entirely taken with his vision of children living their dreams off the profits from leasing their lands as he wipes a tear from his eye and waves me away with a handkerchief. Pardon me, miss. I need a moment. What a moron. I mean, if their family had land, they wouldn't be begging on the streets. Come on, people. Don't eat that box entirely, honey. Hey, 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 hey. Just a second. Angry bunny. Angry bunny. Don't. Angry bunny. Angry bunny. I don't think that the tape is something good for you. Leave part of the box intact. Sorry. I have a rabbit who is just really, sometimes he is. I call him Angry Bunny because that's how he acts. Just like, what? So, by the way, if you are watching this, you like my content, do click the subscribe button, turn on your notifications. Just leaving such bits and bobs lying around hardly constitutes good manners. Speaking of good manners, it would be wise of me to hand these over to the engineer feller. Can't let these go to waste. I agree. Okay, we know someone who's keen on these. We've got 3 cogs again. There were 6 shillings each, by the way, which is actually some serious money at this point. This is our hotel. Really don't like to... Oh, there's some more. Yeah, baby. We can get hold of these so that we can go and sell these. Eli McBride. Didn't we meet him? Oh, yes. Send my greetings to your Lord, Father. I'm trying to think who he was. Since I told y'all I have memory problems from living for over 2 decades in extreme stress and not having gotten any help for it. Huddled in a corner like the stray cat trying to scare off its aggressors. Okay, so let's just take them. I don't think we need to read every single little one of these. Let's check out the fallen leaves and then go up to our hotel room and get on with it. A drift of leaves swept into a neat pile by the breeze. Okay, means changes bring me small measure of comfort. We need some hope, so let's take some hope here. Oh, we're actually unexpectedly, it snuck up on me. We're in an optimistic mood. Whoa! It just felt like that -10 hope tanked us out. You know, maybe it didn't have the effect that it should have had. This is just because of the cogs that we've collected. Let's go on up here, ladies, gentlemen. Greetings, greetings. So, for those of you who don't know this game, I am showing you, giving you a peek inside Sovereign Syndicate, so you can decide for yourself whether it is your bag. I bet that, unlike Green Street, those people didn't ask that woman to pay a fortune before receiving a helping hand. What a strange musing. Anyhow, this is set in Victorian London. It is a steampunk sort of setting here. It is in an alternate reality where fantasy creatures exist, minotaurs, cyclopses, and so vita, okay, and so forth. On the outside, the Bell Jar Hotel looks like the rest. There is a lot of reading. You take everything that's not nailed down. You do get a lot of tasks given to you, and so you need to explore the various conversational paths. The Bell Jar Hotel looks like the rest of Grimy Saurus Square, but once you step inside, you might not believe the splendor. The interiors boast red-carpeted hallways and spiraling stairs with gilded banisters, and bellhops are dressed to the nines with white silk shirts and swallowtail suit coats by Pole and Company. Nobody knows for sure who owns the building, but the rumors point to royal blood. And by the way, there's a lot of dialect of the time in this. Hi. Oh, thanks. And by the way, if it takes me a minute to answer you, there might be a little bit of lag in the stream. So I'm glad to hear that they recommended this. I thought I would show this game to people. I got it on hard sale in Steam a few weeks ago. It is a 2024 release, and I'm enjoying the game. So I figure people can look and they can see, is it my thing? Is it not my thing? You know. In contrast to the East End's city streets, the bell jar's accommodations are noticeably upscale. Like the oblong vessel it was named after, the hotel offers a vacuum of discretion for high society individuals seeking a plush locale away from Soho or Kensington, where they might otherwise be recognized. So I will say again for people, welcome to my stream. If you like my content, please subscribe, turn on the notifications. You'll know when I'm on here streaming. I do stream a variety of games, by the way. This is set in Victorian London, in an alternate timeline where fantasy creatures exist. Whoa, she looks like sie schwebt. The German for that is sie schwebt. She looks like she's just floating. That's the English word, floating. That was freaky. Oh, loose coins. Grab the coins. It wasn't a lot anyhow, but still. It was 6p, but hey, better than a sharp stick in the eye, right? So anyhow, though, it is a game where you do need to explore everything. Take everything that you can get a hold of. It does have consequences on your character, the various choices that you make. These aspects of yourself will talk with you. And this has also an influence on the choices that you are offered. This is centered around the tarot deck somehow. Okay, you do uncover various major arcana cards, and when you have a choice that needs to be rolled, they tie it up with the minor arcana. So this is genuine Persian, if I'm not mistaken. Look at the water feature. The bell jar water feature, elegant and calming. It must have cost a fortune. A fortune. So maybe we can... just a second, I think that is the post. Hello. Hello? Right there. Okay, sorry about that. Running up and down the stairs to grab a parcel that I ordered. As I said, I'm on my own here today, so nobody to run and get it for me. Okay, so, oh, look at these poor dried out things. Not enough sun here either. Ugh. At least we didn't lose any hope over that. Shall we be rude and look at this person's tea service? A real silver tea service. I prefer coffee. But I quickly learned to keep that to myself in London. I think she might be an American, by the way. Catch my breath again. I was up and down those stairs pretty quickly. Okay. The names in the guest book are undeniable proof of the hotel's preeminence. Lord Tennyson. And I missed him. Rotten luck. So let's talk to her. Miss Reed, how lovely to see you. It feels like we haven't talked in ages. Sorry and I became fast friends as soon as I moved into the bell jar. Indeed, that's our only choice. Indeed, my days seem to be consumed with flitting from one place to another and back again. I'm going to need some steam-powered feet at this point. I like that answer. By the way, when you read it yourself, obviously it goes much quicker. Ha ha ha. Are you still planning on leaving London? I'm always sad when clients of the better sort leave for greener pastures. Okay, so I can say either I'm not sure, it's proving to be a thorny issue and expensive, or at some point yes, but I haven't decided exactly where I would like to land. I may return to America. Okay, I thought that I had it in my head that she was American, so let's just pick this one. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. I would like to change myself. I would like a change myself, but some days I feel as though I'm rooted in place here like a potted plant. The bell jar does suit you, though, sorry. A classy establishment without the right kind of staff may as well be an overpriced flophouse. Very philosophical. Oh, I almost forgot. I have something for you. Sorry fumbles around in a drawer for a moment before producing some kind of feather duster. It's a gift from Mr. Cunningham. He asked me to pass it along. It's from Texas, too. I thought it fitting for an expatriate like yourself. Ah, thank you. Ugly fan added to inventory. We're collecting fans, by the way. Our first guy was collecting booze. We played a different character. In the first chapter, you always play a different character, and then you come to the second chapter and you have her. So, oh, before you go, 2 telegrams came for you this morning. One from Tenor Cunningham. Oh, now we know who Tenor is. How sweet. And one from Teddy Redgrave. God's teeth. What a bother. Telegrams are getting far too long these days and coming far too often. Okay, good thing I'm leaving London. With the advent of automatons, much longer telegrams can now be wired for a cheaper sending price. So read them. All right, sorry, I'll take them off your hands. To the ever indomitable Ms. Clara Reed. Here's something that'll really butter your bacon. The Lord of Braxton is hosting quite a shindig in a day's time, and I've found myself an invitation to the whole, I can't do a Texan accent, I'm from Kentucky, to the whole highfalutin affair. I want you there with bells on, Sweet Pea. It'll be a proper blowout, a real showstopper. Okay. Lord Braxton is celebrating. Okay, I guess it goes on. Lord Braxton is celebrating the purchase of some trinkets from Cairo and suggests his guests dress the part. I've dug up the jewelry for the evening, Miss Reed. You'll look absolutely stunning in it. Outshine the queens of old. Okay. Of course, it needs a proper dress to really sell the look. I've found you just the thing. I'll be sending it along to your royal suite at the Bell Jar. So keep an eye out, Sweet Pea. I don't know why he keeps calling her Sweet Pea, you know? If you'd like, find yourself something nice to go with it, eh? Spitfire? Spitfire might be good. Shame about the late notice, but you can't begin to imagine how hard it was to cop an invitation to this thing. It's shaping up to be one hell of a night. Get your best dancing shoes out, Spitfire. Forever yours, Tenor. Okay, a party tomorrow evening upon Tenor's arm. Schmoozing, too much wine, and a cavalcade of London's most pretentious. What a dreaded shame. I'll be off and away by then. Okay, now let's read Theodore's. I've been in Germany too long. Theodore's telegram. Dear Miss Clara Reed, we had the pleasure of acquaintance during the Frobisher case, but not much besides. All the same, I feel it's only fair to write to you. See, I'm a hunter of frightening beasts by trade, and see my share of bounties come and go, though not all of them are fanged or clawed. Plenty of call for bounties put out after regular or not so regular folk who cross the wrong cove or whatnot. I'm not usually apt to get involved, but it seems only fair to do you a good turn after you pulled my own fat from the fire during the business with the Sluagh. Oh, Celtic monster, of course. Of course. Why didn't I know that? You've got a bounty on your head, Miss Reed. Whoa! A pretty price from some high-flown family or another. Oh, something about an unfortunate turn in America and the untimely death of one Gilbert Lancaster? As I said, it only seemed fair to give you a running start from whatever ails you, if little more. Least I could do, I figure. Best of luck, Theodore Redgrave. P.S. Otto says hello. Some of these references are really... Otto. Oh, Otto! But she hasn't met him. Our other guy met Otto. Remember, Otto was the automatron in the opium den. What? almost feel like our souls are being transferred from one body to another at this point. The family Lancaster. Can't say I'm altogether surprised. Yet another reason to leave London behind me. Thanks, sorry. I'd better be on my way now. Shall we have a chat later? Oh, yes, I should return to my duties as well, but let me know before you leave town so I can properly wish you well. Wunderbar, darling. I'm fabelhaft. Oh, let's look at the key rack, too. It's there. Why not? The hotel's key rack, quite a useful way to determine who's in and who's out without asking. That's true. If you're, you're supposed to leave your keys as you leave the hotel. Most people do, not everyone does. Mahogany and gold trim trails along the wallpaper, and the paintings and fixtures are hung so high that they're an absolute nightmare for the maids to dust. The electric lamps are at the forefront of technical design. My brain kept saying technological, retrofitted to the oil lamp sockets of old, and the high ceilings make for an airy ambiance where style is favored over substance. Your telescope and other homespun necessities clash with the ornate decorations of the suite. With your clientele, including Tanner Cunningham, of seemingly bottomless pockets, you can well afford the monthly rate. The suite is as temporary a residence as any you've ever had since you left America, allowing for an escape from the chaos of London, while at the same time never feeling exactly at home. Okay. So, like I said, in the first chapter, we played a Minotaur. We didn't pick this out. These are the characters that are given to you, okay? We were able to pick, you're able to pick which one of these is going to be prominent, which one of these four is going to be prominent in the personality. Then when we went into chapter 2, it gave us this character, and we were, again, able to choose. We chose to make her tactful. It seemed like a good option to me. I had a couple options I was struggling with, to be honest with you. So let's explore our suite of rooms. A porcelain tea set atop a dinette table, whose marble is so polished I can see my own reflection. Perhaps I have time to make myself a cup of tea. That British phlegm, right? Yes, when in Rome, as they say, but I have yet to find a tea that keeps my nose from wrinkling. How much should I bribe the concierge to provide me with some coffee beans? A payment equivalent to the royal coffers. I almost regret Lord Beresford introducing me to that wicked Ambrosia per his last appointment. The tea's gone cold now. Not that it was better when it was hot. So she's not a teetotaler. Our gal, floral arrangement. Tenor left me these roses of several colors, dethorned and arranged to near perfection. I think the dethorned is it speaks to, I don't know, to her character, like maybe what he wants to do to her, She's full of thorns. His attempts to win me over are flattering, but if I escaped London on his dime, then I'd be obliged to join him in the Republic of Texas, at least for a time. So now Texas is its own republic in this game. They'll be very happy to hear that. I shudder at the thought, although I'm sure that part of the country is rather beautiful. It's interesting. Those of you who have never been there, by the way, I have a lot of foreign audience, non-Americans. The west side is desert, and the east side has got a lot of forests. It's a really fascinating state. It's huge, too. So let's read the note. Hey there, Spitfire. Thought of you when I saw these, so I snapped them right up. They remind me of the wildflowers in West Texas. Someday I'll take you to see the bloom. But these are roses. Spitfire. I don't know why he insists on using that nettlesome pet name. Okay. So I don't think he means anything by it. Let's go take a look at our tarot deck. A deck of tarot cards. Back stateside, they became high fashion. As to whether they really tell one anything, well, let's flip a card. Oh, that hurt. It's the Hanged Man. Should I take this as yet another firm reminder to handle my business and get clear of London? Life got you feeling upside down? Dressing table. This mirror's intricate gold inlays would make any maid dusting it want to expire. That said, the low table is perfect for preparing for a night out or a day about London, so let's take a moment to observe ourselves. It frames me quite nicely. Straighten the back, elongate the neck. Good posture is foremost. My brise fan is here. Shall I practice my fan etiquette? Absolutely. Okay, the white silk fan unfurls with a flourish of the wrist. Whoa. Why do I feel like we should have had more information? Our choices are: I close the fan and tap my left ear with its tip. I flick the fan open quickly, snap it closed again. I close the fan and draw it slowly down my right cheek. I flick the fan open in front of my eyes, hiding my face. I carry the fan in my left hand while daintily fanning my face. I'm going to pick number 4. Sounds like something my grandmother would have said I should do. Okay. We are being watched, the fan murmurs. Okay. I flick the fan open and quickly snap it closed again. Bastard, the fan curses. Okay. Okay, I close the fan and draw it slowly down my right cheek. I love you. Ah, so it's telling me in essence what these are communicating. I close the fan and tap my left ear with its tip. I wish I could be rid of you. I thought that didn't sound like, let's see this one here, because usually putting things in your left hand is not really a good thing. So I carry it daintily in my left hand while daintily fanning my face. I desire to make your acquaintance. Oh, interesting. How interesting. So I think we've seen all of them, haven't we? We did this one, tapping the ear, snapping it closed, drawing it down our right cheek, holding it in front of our face. Okay. You think I'm going to remember all that? That one's funny. So, don't think we have time for a nap. We are actually being tracked by bounty hunters now. The most comfortable and expensive place I've ever slept, worth every penny. Bet she doesn't get cold in that room. All packed up and ready to go. If I ever manage to leave. Okay, so I won't get trapped in London, or maybe I could just hide in the biggest trunk and no one would find me. Listen, I won't get trapped in London. I've escaped worse. Just need to stay light on my feet and one step ahead of danger. So that gave us phlegm, which is our grace. Okay, which we can use. It's not actually a suite of rooms, is it? If a little garish, there's something about the scroll work in the gilded feet that hits the luxury nail on the head. Okay, although drawing a bath takes quite a bit of my time, maybe it's what I need to soothe my nerves. Let's give it a go. The spacious tub is the only thing worth the crooked price of this suite. It gave us some hope back. It's the one place where my mind is my own. When I submerge myself past my ears, I feel weightless. Okay, like a raindrop in free fall. Ooh, nice imagery. So let's just go up before we actually below this popsicle stand. There's some things up here we can actually explore. The writing bowl. We can write a letter, by the way. Shall I write a practice letter? Okay. And then it's like, and then it asks you how you want it to go. To Her Royal Majesty Queen Victoria. The quality of food on passenger locomotives is of very low quality. It should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I believe that you may be responsible. Well, you still smell terrible to take a bath. I am truly honored by your efforts and hope to follow your example. Okay. We're going to soften it a little bit. I think we shouldn't sign our name. Better not put my name on something I don't intend to send, okay? I wouldn't want to find myself being prosecuted by the Crown for something like that. A well-loved telescope aims a glossy lens to the heavens. Astronomy suits you as your humble hobby. Look through the eyepiece. Perhaps turn the telescope to the buildings below. What knowledge could I learn from those who think no one is watching? Though tempting, it's ultimately futile. Do I expect a murderer to parade his crime in front of an open window? Or I shall do no such thing. I am no peeping Tom. Okay, we'll pick number 2. We are getting just our tact and yeah. So I am glad, by the way, as I've said, for everyone who stops in and takes a look at the game. I don't get paid anything for it. I mean, I just enjoyed the game myself and thought I would therefore show it to other people. And as I've said, if it's not your bag, it's not your bag. I totally get that. But you might be interested in it. If you are, do like I do. I always wait for things to go on sale. I don't pay full price for games anymore since the Oblivion incident, I call it. When Bethesda released Oblivion in German, back when, I was already here. I've been here 23 years, and you could only get it in German back then. Okay, you had to buy the discs at the store. And the game was barely playable. So many things in it were broken. It was unbelievable. It was shameless. She kind of scares me. Is anyone else scared of this woman? Look, she's like a ghost. Look, she's translucent. See that? You can see the floor through her. And she schwebt. I feel very unnerved by her. So when we get out, let's save this. Just so we're not like really stupid and lose a lot of progress. Foolish. Foolish is the word I'm looking for. Wouldn't be stupid. It would be foolish. The streaming game. Okay. So we've not been safe scumming at all. We are taking the consequences of our decisions. Neptune, also known as Poseidon. Ghastly. Who would ever imagine such a scene? The poor horse. Why is he killing the horse? What's he got with the horse? I would expect this kind of thing in Paris. It seems out of place here. Really, I'd expect it in Berlin. I'm not sure about Paris. I can say that after living here 23 years. That is such a cute dress. The only thing that dress, that little skirt, it needs to be asymmetrical. I saw the cutest dress. Oh my gosh, where was that? What's it called? Burns and Allen. I think they had a cute asymmetrical dress on there. If y'all don't know that one, Burns and Allen is really, really old comedy team. It was a husband and wife. Say goodnight, Gracie. Good night, Gracie. You know, my one grandmother was into that. A dropped crate of china, likely intended for a restaurant, accompanied by a nose-pinching stench. Let's investigate the smell. A dead, decomposing animal, ghastly. Oh, we're still optimistic, but we're just really... Oh my gosh. So let's take a look at the parasol. The cafe's abandoned parasol. It's nice to think that London at least occasionally gets some sunshine to break up the gloom. I could almost use my own parasol today. What use is a parasol when it's gloomy and gray? Oh, this sounds too depressing. Let's do this one. Yeah, we're looking for ways to cheer ourselves up. Cheer ourselves up. Reasons to go on with life. The hard-boiled scoop on the courtesan killer. Read on for the gory details. This story will boil your blood. Or boil your blood. Making a penny dreadful out of a senseless tragedy will certainly ruffle some feathers, though less than one might expect. Yeah, with courtesans, I guess. The papers are interested only in that which sells copies, or no doubt the upper crust will give us a wide berth with news like this in vogue, save for those whose reputation is already beyond the pale. Let's try this one. Okay, could you imagine if they showed this concern for every dolly's life upended? Although I haven't much time yet in this fair city, I'll keep looking into this mystery while I can. In other words, if I happen upon something. The wreckage of a wooden chair. What? Looks intact to me. Just about any old piece of furniture can be rehabilitated with a little care. That's true. So, we gained some hope from that. Oh.